I already need more. Rina, you need to give us a new EP with this same style. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Steven. This is Steven in Stereo, and in today's video we're checking out an album from an artist that I have not even listened to a second of yet, and that makes me really excited to get into this. The album is called Sawayama. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. By the artist Rina Sawayama. So I hope I didn't screw that up. I saw this coming up in my YouTube comment section a lot. I saw it coming up on Twitter a lot. So I did a little bit of research, and someone told me that there's like a little bit of like metal influence in this album, but it's mostly a pop album, I'm guessing. So I'm really excited to see how that turns out. I have a feeling it's gonna be pretty good. This seems to have gotten some really great reviews already. So this is typically the part where I talk about the album and the artist and what I know and what I don't know, but in all honesty, I've got nothing to say. I have no idea what this artist sounds like. I know nothing about her, and I think that's gonna make for a pretty cool video. Before we get into it, obviously, if you guys wanna subscribe to the channel, that'd be cool. Can we try to get this video to 1,000 likes? I feel like I never really ask you guys for those kind of challenges. So let's try to get 1,000 likes on this video. I know that's not much, but it's still a good start for a goal, so let's try it out. And of course, you guys can follow me on social media, all that kind of cool stuff. Okay, let's shut up. Let's just check this out. I am so excited. There's nothing better than like a first listen, so let's do it. Ooh. So right away, obviously, I'm just completely taken back by these vocals. So beautiful, so atmospheric. That going with this slow moving beat in the back, it's very airy. I feel like, very airy, that rhymed. I feel like there's so much like building up. There's just so much great atmosphere, and I can already tell right away that I don't know about this whole album, but this track for sure is a vibe. What the fuck? This is what I'm talking about. I feel like artists have tried to do this in the past and it works. There are so many artists that are able to do this sort of style, but hearing that guitar riff in the back with these like just beautiful melodies coming from Rina, I feel like it just makes such a perfect mix for this type of genre. And this is all coming from the first song. So in this first song, we've had this like really beautiful build up here in the beginning. Like I said, all that great atmosphere. This guitar riff just starts slamming, and here she comes, and she just absolutely crushes it. Ooh. We're only on track 1. How exactly does she top what she just did there? I feel like I was hearing hints of Evanescence in points of that song, which I think is actually incredible. You don't hear a lot of bands really doing that. There were so many different moments, again, from the intro of the song, just giving us that atmospheric build up into that guitar riff where we got that little bit more of a metal sound. I don't think I was expecting to hear her harmonizing with a guitar solo in the back, but that's got to be one of the most incredible sounds I've heard in a very long time, and I'm gonna be shook if she can still keep this same energy through the rest of this album, because that's such a heavy hitter for a starter track. What the fuck? Okay, wait, what? Like, that metal riff was only like 2 seconds long. I just spit everywhere. Was like 2 seconds long. It goes straight into a pop vibe. I'm just gonna go back so I can hear that again. First off, she sounds like a 90s pop hit right away, but then there's this extremely heavy guitar happening in the back, and those transitions, while they're only like 2 to 3 seconds long, bring so much impact and build into the song that I have a feeling that at some point in the song, we're gonna get something just absolutely just fucking amazing. What the fuck? I feel like as a kid who grew up in the 90s, obviously listening to a lot of pop, but also listening to a lot of like punk and hardcore and metal and things like that, I feel like when I get to hear even just that slight guitar riff happening in this obviously like upbeat song, it sounds sad. It sounds like she's almost taking a sarcastic route towards like living in excess, where I think she said something along the lines of like, make me less, I want more, like how much we give to end up with all of these things in our life that end up just being material possessions. Even though that's happening, and I think that's part of why I like the guitar in the back, is that, you know, while this is upbeat and poppy, those sad lyrics are kind of happening, and that guitar is just like adding to that emotion. So far, 2 tracks into this, it's almost everything I could have ever wanted from a genre crossover like this. I am having so much fun living this almost like 90s nostalgia for myself when it comes to the actual, or maybe like 90s, early 2000s. When it comes to the pop side of things on this, I feel like Rina's vocals are really beautiful. She brings this high energy to these songs. Again, even with lyrics that I felt were actually more sad than anything in this one. Just talking about that realization of how much people will give away for material items. I just feel like that mixed with that little bit of metal, just giving me that little bit. Again, it's not like there was much going on in there with that, but transitions like that are really heavy and super uncommon in pop music. So I think she absolutely crushed it with that. Fuck. Oh, shit. See, with a track like this, first off, this is like 100% a mosh song. Like, it's so fucking heavy in the back, and I love that her vocals just work so well over such a heavy track. It's really hard to cross those two genres, and when you can do it like this, I fucking love it. And imagine this, you could go see Rina at a show, and I don't know who would open, because I'm not quite sure what the whole sound of her is, but just know that even while she's got some of these like more pop sounding hits, she could play this and the entire room could start moshing. We are 3 tracks in, and it seems like every single track she has outdone what I thought she was going to do from the previous track. While each song has had an element of something that I really enjoy, I feel like as we keep going, the energy keeps getting even better, and I feel like the experimentation happens a little bit more and more. Really surprised to hear just how good this is, and I don't mean that in some like way where I thought it was going to be negative, but sometimes when you hear about these crossover things, when it happens like this, when you hear about that influence, it's not always executed in a way that I think is consumable for a lot of people. However, this album could have so much mass appeal because even while the instrumentation is a little bit heavier than maybe what some people like, I feel like those elements combined with some of these other tracks we've already heard and Rina's vocals, I feel like really create a moment where you can actually grasp onto a very broad audience. And on this channel, I kind of nerd out over those kind of cross-genre type things because I just think it's so fun and experimental to get people that are maybe not used to certain types of music into those things. And I think Rina has absolutely just like excelled at this, and we're only 3 tracks in out of 13, so I recommend this album 100%. I'm not even there yet, but 3 songs in, I know that I'm going to be listening to this album a lot, so I hope you guys are too. Hey! Fuck yeah. This is proof right here that Rina can do it all. Woo! I feel like everyone's Instagram and Twitter bio should be hot like a fever, make you a believer. Damn, see, right there just shows me that Rina's got so much potential. Like, the artistic range in this girl is so wide, and I love that. I feel like this is one of those tracks that could be a single and give you that bait and switch. You're gonna hear this song, you're gonna vibe to it so much, then you're gonna get stuck in this album with so many different experiments that I think you're going to end up falling in love with so many different genres based off of just a handful of songs that you hear. Now, I was trying to pay attention to the lyrics. I couldn't quite tell what the full meaning of the track was. However, she did mention like Virgil Abloh, who is famous for obviously Off-White, and he's one of the lead designers for Louis Vuitton now. So I'm not quite sure if this was all about fashion, but I just want to say that I love some of these high range harmonies that were kind of happening in the background of this from Rina. Right now, so far, I'm having a moment in this album where there are so many things that I like to hear from an artist all happening at once. It really is a lot to take in, especially for a first time listen, but I'm absolutely just stoked that you guys wanted me to listen to this so bad because I'm having such a great time with this. I need a vinyl copy of this right away. Oh! See what I'm saying? Let's talk about artistic range and style. I've heard so many different vocal styles, cadences, all kinds of shit happening in this album. Hey! Ooh! I'm not sure what Akasaka sad is, and I'm also not quite sure what is happening in this song at all, to be honest. However, the chorus in this song is written so well, especially when it comes to the repetition in the chorus. using the same words over and over, but it starts to create this like almost hypnotic feeling where you just want to go back and listen to it more and more. And I felt like the transitions in the song were absolutely fucking amazing. Again, there's a lot of moments where I couldn't really tell what was going on with the lyrics. Sometimes they weren't too easy to understand. However, the total vibe of the song was just on point. I have not heard a single thing that I don't like in this album yet. I honestly cannot wait to be done with this video just so I can go buy the record and own a piece of this perfection. That chorus is fucking sick. The transitions that sound like little video game sound effects happening back into the verses, I think is so cool. I don't really know what singles I would even promote just yet because there's so many different sounds happening here, but I love the pacing of the song so much. It's very upbeat. It's very almost chaotic in a sense. It's got like this very like techno type of vibe happening in the back, but I'm here for it. I will say that lyrically, this doesn't sound like a good thing. Like she's talking about how she saw this dude's phone and it had this girl's name and number on it, like as if they've been texting. So I can't really tell what's quite happening in this one either, but I'm trying. Paradising, living my best life, thriving, driving you crazy. She really just pulled a saxophone out? Saxophone breakdown. Yeah, I absolutely love the tempo in this song. It's so upbeat, it's so catchy. Again, her vocals, she's just got this really great way of form-fitting to whatever instrumental she's trying to use on the back and makes it sound like she created the sound, which I think is fucking incredible, especially for an artist that is still on the rise and up and coming. To have this much talent so early in this career, and to have an album like this where she's able to showcase so many different versions of herself. I just think that's such a big, impactful moment. Not being afraid to throw a saxophone into the instrumental of a track. I feel like those things are so fucking brave, and she's pulling it off so much. And then songs like this just remind me that no matter all those other things that I've said, at the end of the day, she's just got this incredible vocal ability, and I love when she's able to show that part off too. I think it's fair to say that I think one reason that I'm drawn to this artist so much already is that when it comes to the pop moments in this album, there's a lot of influence on that 90s and 2000s. And for me, those were obviously like some of my favorite years for this type of music. I feel like that's just what I grew up with. It makes me very nostalgic. And it seems to be that that's what she goes to with a lot of this. And so it's so hard not to stan. Yeah, bringing back those elements of 90s and 2000s hip-hop, R&B, I feel like that's going to be one of the best things. Anytime I listen to an album, I said the same thing about Dua Lipa. She does that a lot, and I'm just absolutely in love with that album as well. But I really enjoy some of these moments in the song. For example, even going as far back as to doing like almost like a call-in kind of sound, like a voicemail kind of sound. You know, if you can't love yourself, how could you love someone else? Things like that. And then of course, out of nowhere, because it's a Rina song, we're gonna get a guitar solo at the end of the song. Like just perfect, it matches perfect, it doesn't feel out of place at all, and is exactly what the vibe of this whole album has been so far. You see what I'm talking about, vocal range and artistic range? Because this sounds like a totally different person right now. Okay, wait, if that was the chorus, that's got to be one of the fucking coolest choruses I've heard in a very long time. No instruments whatsoever, a little bit of effect on the voice to give it a little bit more of like a build in, and
fuck, dude.
Okay, so that part that I thought was the chorus obviously wasn't. It was just like a random bridge in the middle of the song, and I fucking love it. I absolutely love it. I think that when you can make it a cappella, put a little bit of effect on a vocal like that, and have it bring in, it felt so strong and impactful. I personally am a huge fan of that. But then out of nowhere, we do get that chorus, which is extremely catchy. Anytime you write a hook that has lyrics that you can remember right away, I feel like it's going to hit even harder because you can't get the song out of your head. And I, for one, from production to lyrics to the way that they built that chorus, already can't get the song out of my head. I feel like I personally just want to be in my car where it's not quarantine, going on a road trip, singing this song at the top of my lungs because that's exactly what it feels like. Trying to say that only Rina would name a song an interlude and put this much effort and make it an actual song, because most artists will choose interlude or intermission or whatever, and it'll literally just be like either like some weird atmospheric sound happening in the back, or it'll be an instrumental, but not for Rina. An interlude that's an actual song, I'm here for it. I'm also a fan of the lyrics in this track, especially towards the end there, the last like 3 or 4 bars. We're talking about this is Mission Impossible, but I like the entire basis of the song, which is fuck this world, I'm leaving. But this song just hits for this album. Like, so far everything just fucking makes sense. So I love the fact that she's got this rock vibe going on with the song. It almost sounds like this is a big rock anthem played at a stadium. And the only downside right now is that it's got like the applaud kind of happening in the back to kind of give it that live effect. I think of a group like Typo Negative, which did like a fake live album once. It wasn't my favorite album from them because I feel like the production really suffers when you do that. And that's kind of what I feel just in this first minute. I feel like it's just, obviously the mixing is going to be weird because it's got this weird live crowd kind of thing happening in the back. I mean, vocals are absolutely incredible in this song. There's just so many beautiful moments from her. She hits these really great runs. I love them. I love the instrumental in the song. I think it's incredible. I feel like it's very high energy, upbeat, and very on pace with the rest of this album. One thing I can't get past is the crowd applause through the whole time, because I feel like we're starting to lose something where I feel like those vocals are shining so well that imagine if those applause and stuff weren't in the song, it would sound so much better. Now, having said all of that, at the same time, I understand the vibe that she was going for here. And even though I wasn't a huge fan of the production, it's still a very likable song. I just feel like when it comes to a track like this with so many fun elements, you hate to lose, you know, all these beautiful things that you've made with that crowd applause happening the whole time. That's just my opinion though. Ooh, let's just shout out the 90s already. I can feel it. I don't want to check into the Tokyo hotel. I just want your love all to myself. Please let me know in the comment section what that means. Some of Rina's best vocals just happened in that song. I feel like there's so many amazing harmonies and runs that she does in this. Very high range. And even though this felt like a kind of like a love ballad-ish, it's definitely a love song. I can't quite tell based on first listen of the lyrics. I kind of feel like she just wants to be with this person, but I don't know what the Tokyo Love Hotel is, but apparently it's not a good place because she wants to be with this person and doesn't want to share his love. So you guys gotta let me know what the Tokyo Love Hotel is. And I also love the nods to 90s pop music here. I feel like we got it a lot, as well as, of course, that high energy guitar riff that we had in that second verse going out towards the end. Because again, I'm enjoying the fact that with some of the experimentation and some of the influence that she's using, she doesn't let a lot of it dominate her song. She lets the song be what it is, and then she puts those little like sprinkles on top of other influences that she wanted to try in this album. And I think that's what's making this work so well, track after track. We're not getting too much of one thing. We're getting a lot of Rina, and nothing's taking away from her. Oh. I feel like with every track, it's like easy for me to nerd out on her vocals, but can we just please appreciate for a second how the style can change and her vocals can match so well, and now we have an actual ballad happening here, straight from the heart. You can feel all of the emotion coming in through the song, even when you hear like the harmonization, which is a word that I've probably used a million times in this album reaction already, but you can hear the harmonies happening in the back of these verses to just bring more emotion to this track.
God damn.
Woo! So I actually don't feel like this was a love song to like a partner or a lover. It actually sounded like a song to a friend. It doesn't matter that we look the same. We've been going through the same things. You're my chosen family. So that's kind of what I feel. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but on first listen, this felt like a ballad style of friendship where, you know, you don't have to be blood to be family. Shout out Throwdown. And so I feel like that's kind of what this whole vibe is to the song. I'm going to say it again. Rina's fucking vocals. Like, where does the range stop? Because we can get so many different sounds off one album from her. I always love that from an artist because as someone who listens to a lot of different music, I feel like when I sit down and listen to a full album, sometimes, yeah, I just want the same riff over and over again, and there's plenty of bands for that. But sometimes I want to put on an artist that I can listen to that same artist and go through many different stages of music with that person. And for me to be able to do that on one album where it sounds like a playlist, I'm always a huge fan of that. Oh, fuck. So a 2-minute build-up to a huge, like, techno slash EDM style breakdown happening right there. Fucking exactly on brand for this entire album. There is so much energy, and I gotta say, I don't often say this on this channel because usually these albums are very long, a lot of tracks, but I don't feel like I got enough out of this album. There is so much to this artist, and I don't feel like 13 tracks is enough to really show me all of that. Like, this was almost a tease. Like, at track 13, on some albums, typically I'm like, all right, this album's going, this album's going. This album, I did not want to stop. I had no intention of it being done yet. I was actually really sad to see that that was the last song because I need more. I already need more. Rina, you need to give us a new EP with this same style. Maybe even do a little bit more nu metal because I can't wait to hear what else you have from that. But holy shit, guys, for my first reaction to this artist, I am genuinely blown away that I've never heard of her until now. Someone who's able to do the things she did in this album. And again, it's not all about experimentation on this album, and that's what I love. Though she likes to do that, and though she likes to use those rock influences, metal influences, that wasn't what this was all about. What it really showed is that she has artistic range, because at the end of the day, Rina is the powerhouse to this album, and instrumentals aside, she's just incredible in what she does with some of these different genres she goes back to, with these vocals she's able to do. Again, I'm saying it again, the fucking harmonies in this album are great. I feel like this album just serves as this really great entry to this artist because I feel like you can listen to this and there's so many different things that you can latch onto and enjoy. And I always love when an artist that gets on a level, like she's getting a lot of exposure right now, and I love that she uses so many different elements in her music to show people that pop doesn't have to be just one sound. There can be a lot to it, and you can really dive in and appreciate each genre that she was able to include in this without ever losing herself. She never sacrificed, you know, her vocals, she never sacrificed her lyricism, she never sacrificed her artistic touch to these songs, despite some of them having those instrumentals and things like that. But for me to enjoy an album this much on the first listen, granted I typically like albums, but to really fall in love with an album, like I did with obviously Norman Rockwell or Banks 3, on the first listen, I feel like there's just so much to that. So I really can't wait to pick up this vinyl. I cannot believe that I've never heard of this artist before. It blows me away to think that she's been out there in the wild and I could have been listening to her the whole time. So I'm really, really thankful for my channel sometimes, especially when my Twitter and my comments all blow up letting me know that there's this artist out there that of course I'm going to enjoy because, you know, you liked this and you like this and you posted this, you're gonna like this artist. And I am gonna start listening to you guys a lot more because holy shit, this is fucking perfect. But I really hope you guys like today's video. I've been trying to do more album videos lately, so if you like those things, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Like I said, try to get this video to 1,000 likes. I know that's not asking a lot, but I'm just gonna try a challenge goal because I've never tried one before. Make sure you guys hit me up on Instagram and Twitter. Let me know in the comment section what your favorite songs were on this album, and I really hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.